Welcome to Rellekka Xtreme 1 Chunk. If you are new here, you joined at the perfect time, because I just completed a death chunk that took over half a year. So now we are pretty much starting with a clean slate. We are kicking it off with a chunk roll right off the bat. And looking at the chunk map, there's a very high chance I roll right into another death chunk. Before we roll, let's take a quick look at the chunks I have available. I have divided these into 3 categories: corner content, skill capes and death chunks. Yeah, I really have nothing else available than these so-called corner content chunks where there's no tasks at all, and most of these don't even unlock paths to new chunks. Or this area which I call the Belt of Death, consisting of 4 skill capes, fishing, ranging, firemaking and fletching, or 3 actual death chunks, being the Waterbirth Island with 3 1 in 5,000 pets, Barbarian Assault with the rarest pet in the game, and Mithril Dragons with the extremely rare Dragon Full Helm. There is one more chunk way to the south, Musa Point, which doesn't unlock anything in itself, but the chunk next to it is Chad and Inferno, the biggest death chunk in the game, I reckon. So with that said, this is probably going to be the highest stakes roll that I have ever had. This is actually crazy. The amount of death chunks and skill capes and everything that I have here compared to anything else is just, it's mind-boggling, but let's see what we get this time. Okay, please be gentle, don't put me into Barbarian Assault or something. Okay, it's corner content, Okay, yeah, there's absolutely nothing in there, it's just a little bit of land that we can walk on if we go through this Keldagrim tunnel, so let's go and check it in the game and then we will continue with the chunk rolls right after. Here we are, a new music track, Hell's Bells, unlocked, and this is the chunk. There's I think there's like a couple of tiles that we can walk on. This is the area where you come if you sled down this mountain with a sled, but obviously we don't have a sled. So this is the tunnel that we came through. There's the entrance to Keldagrim right there, and we can come through this tunnel and on to the other side, but I don't think we can really walk very far. I think this is as far as we can go without a sled. So yeah, that's the chunk. Yep, there's nothing in there, so we are going right back to the death chunk roller. Here we are again, nothing has changed, one less chunk available for rolling. Let's see what we get this time. This is really nerve-wracking. Ooh, that was quick. Legend skilled, I think that's also a corner content chunk. Yep, nothing to do at the moment. Maybe in the future we can actually access Legend Guild, and there's a couple of there's rare trees, there's this one mine, there's bears, and it does put it right next to Witch Haven and the Arty Farm. So Arty Farm is pretty good. Witch Haven, on the other hand, has Hellhounds, and that is a 1 in 32,000 smoldering stone grind, which obviously many chunkers have already done, so it's definitely doable, but yeah, it's not my preferred grind at the moment. Let's go inside the game and check out the Legends Guild. Here we go, we are getting rid of yet another corner content chunk and adding one pretty decent chunk, the Arty Farm, and another kind of a little death chunk with the Hellhounds in the Witch Haven dungeon. But I wonder, do we actually have anything even remotely useful in the chunk at the moment? I really don't think we have. So there are a couple of yew trees here, but obviously it's very far away from a bank, and I do have CS Village, which is much better for use. We cannot access the Legends Guild. Can I go on the quest to get into the Legends Guild? You need to gain 98 more quest points. That is insane. We are not gonna do this until we have rolled pretty much every other chunk in the mainland, I guess. We do have a couple of bears, we have this mine with the iron and coal ore. Again, I do have Motherlode mine as well, so this is pretty much nothing. And there's a couple of maple trees there in the distance, but other than that, I don't really think this is much of anything other than a passageway into Ardon. So, yep, another corner content chunk. We are running out of these corner content chunks really quickly. So, let's go back to the chunk picker and see what the next actual real grind is going to be. Witch Haven added as a somewhat of a death chunk, and the Arty Farm as a pretty decent chunk. It would give me one additional farming patch. Witch Haven I think would take me about 200 or 300 hours, so it's quite bad but not impossibly bad. Let's see what we roll this time. Are we going to get a grind finally, or another corner content? It's another corner content. Troll Stronghold number 1. I really can't believe we are rolling every single corner content chunk. In Troll Stronghold we can walk on this little bit of land right here. And actually already tested that we can actually walk on this land. So yeah, it doesn't unlock the Troll Stronghold actually, it just unlocks the little western part of it. So let's go and check it out. Here we are from the mountain camp. We can walk on this little bit of land, and I know some people don't really like these kind of corner content chunks, and I mean I really don't either, but they really don't take that much time to unlock, and I guess they do unlock some possible avenues in the future, but this is the new part of the chunk that we can walk on. Yeah, the rules of one chunk are what they are. You can walk on this, so you can roll this chunk, even though the absolute majority of content in the chunk is on the other side of the wall right there, which I can't access until I roll like Birth Orb and Death Plateau and everything. So it is what it is. We rolled it. It's another corner content chunk, but now we really can't progress this way until we roll Birth Orb, I guess. So back into the chunk picker, and we are due for a death chunk, I think. So no new added chunks, -1 corner content chunk done, and we are really running low on corner content. There's a couple more Etceteria and the western part of the Needisnot Islands, but other than that we are probably going to roll either a skill cape or a death chunk, and these are all the chunks that we have rolled now in a row, all of them corner content. At this point, I really don't even know what I would be hoping for. All of these are kind of equally bad. The death chunks are all like actually horrible. The skill capes are all kind of easy, like ranged and fire making and fishing are not too bad. And fletching, I already have 95 fletching. So all of them are like somewhat decent and doable. So I really don't know what I'm hoping for, but I guess we'll just see what we get. Ranging Guild! That's the first skill cape. Hemmenster and the Ranging Guild. That means 99 ranged and another 99 as well, because I need to get the skill cape trimmed. So I do need 2 99s. One of them is going to be ranged and the other one is probably going to be smithing, because I have 98 smithing already. Some of the other tasks, we have full black D-hide, which is obviously really good for the future. We can do the fishing contest, which means we can also access the other side of White Wolf Mountain. We're getting close to the herblore grind, 99 herblore and everything that comes with that, so fuck me, I guess. But yeah, that's really interesting. We are going to be spending some time training ranged. Let's go! I actually quite like that. Here we go, Ranged Guild in Hemmenster, and I actually have been on the border quite a lot because I caught a lot of rare implings here. There's a really good rare impling spawn right inside here. One of the best in the game actually, but this is the first time I'm actually walking into the chunk, and I still do have all of these hard clues sitting in the bank in Camelot. And one of them is in the Ranging Guild, I think. It was like searching a needle in a haystack in the Ranging Guild or something like that. Yeah, Ranging Guild, hey, this is the one. So we need to search the haystack in the Ranging Guild. So I'm probably gonna just keep this hard clue until we get some sort of a grind that actually gives a lot of hard clues, like, I don't know, hellhounds. So that is gonna be staying in the bank for now. Here we go, we are entering the Ranging Guild for the first time, and obviously we are wearing our best in slot. ranged gear can't, you know, enter the place looking all willy-nilly. And the first thing I want to do is to actually tan some of these black dragon hide that I got from dragon implings or magpie implings. But this is the first tanner that I actually have, which means that I'm going to have full black D-hide, which is absolutely amazing for ranged gear. And that is 3 chunk tasks done in less than a couple of seconds. Look at that. Plus 30 range from the top, plus 6 range from the bottoms, and plus 4 ranged from the vambraces. And now we are actually looking pretty damn good. Not too bad at all. The ranged bonus is 146 already, which is really good. Now we are actually, when we get the ranging cape, we are actually pretty set on ranged. We can do a lot of things with that. Like if we roll the Hellhounds or we roll like Dagonoth Supreme or anything like that that we need to kill with ranged, we are actually going to be pretty good. The armor salesman doesn't have anything too special to sell except for the ranging cape, of course, and that cape is actually really good and quite special. It has the effect of the Ava's accumulator, which causes most of the ammunition that I shoot to be automatically picked up and placed back into my inventory. This is a huge buff for the account, making the 50,000 amethyst arrows I grinded in the last chunk last a whole lot longer if I need to grind out Hellhounds or other monster drops in the future. There's also this bow and arrow shop, which might be useful in the future. They sell some rune arrows and rune arrow tips and arrow shafts as well, so that might be good for ammunition and fletching if I need those in the future. Then we have the ticket exchange for the archery minigame, selling barbed bolt tips, rune arrows and some studded armor and stuff like that. And this shop is actually going to play quite a big role in the future of this account, so just keep that in mind. Then we have a shield master who's gonna give us a leather shield resource guide. Why? I don't know. Why? And then finally, the tribal weapon salesman selling rune thrown axes. They do have a special attack that can bounce between multiple targets, and they can be used for the Waterbirth Island entrance as well. Not necessarily super useful, but maybe useful to keep in mind for the future. And then finally, obviously, the archery range. This might surprise you, but the archery range is actually the main attraction of this chunk for me, and it's one of the best training methods I have available. In this minigame, you pay 200 coins for 10 bronze arrows, and then you shoot those arrows at the target. You either get 0, 10, 20, 30, 50 or 100 points depending on where you hit the target, and the maximum obviously being 1000 for 10 arrows. For every 10 points you score, you get half of that in ranged XP and 1 archery ticket. Where the hit lands is based only on your ranged accuracy and RNG and has nothing to do with where you actually click on the target, but we'll talk more about the mechanics of the minigame a bit later on. For now, just know that I'm going to be spending a lot of time clicking these targets. Before we get too deep into the 99 ranged grind, let's get our fishing contest out of the way. I actually started this in the last chunk already, so oh, a downs random, hello there. That is always a very welcome surprise. We're putting that on Slayer, yet again still hunting for the 42 Slayer for Brine Rats. But yeah, as I was saying about the fishing contest, we actually get a way through the White Wolf Mountain since we can now complete the fishing contest. So let's go and do that real quick. Excuse me sir, I'm going to borrow your garlic. I have a vampire that needs dealing with, and we're going to get one of those prize-winning fishing rods from Grandpa Jack. Put the garlic inside the pipe. Vampire doesn't really like that. And there we have the giant carps that are going to win us the competition. We have a new winner, the heroic-looking person. Yeah, that's me. And we get the Hemister fishing trophy. Beautiful. Vestry, my gold-digging dwarf friend, here is your golden fishing trophy. That's a little bit of fishing XP and access to the White Wolf Mountain tunnel. Tunnel? Yeah, that means we can now go through White Wolf Mountain, putting us right next to the Druidic Circle and Tavali Dungeon. That is Herblore and Black Dragons and Hellhounds and all the nice things, right? And inside the tunnel, I guess we have some Dwarven Stouts. Don't really do anything with those anymore, but I guess I'll take a couple of them. And there's not much else. There's a crossbow shop, which really doesn't do anything for me. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole place scoured through. Well, I thought I was done with Pyro, but I do need a lockpick from young implings, so that's what we are hunting here. Okay, there we go. That didn't take too long at all. There's 2 actually. 3, what the hell? And what we need this for is unlocking this chest in Hemmenster. That is a medium task in the Kandarin area. You can't really get anything too special from the chest, but it is a medium diary task. So that is another chunk task done and dusted. And now we really only have 1 or 2 chunk tasks, and that is getting 99 ranged and another 99 in some skill. Alright, before I head there, I'm going to recharge all my lyres. I need to do this almost every episode or every couple of episodes. I really go through these charges quite a lot, but they are just some raw sharks put on this... Oh god damn it, I teleported. Anyways, yeah, that's what I'm doing always in the background. So it begins. The only real grind of the chunk, 99 ranged. I do need another 99 too to get the cape trimmed, but we'll come back to that later. Now the unfortunate thing is I don't really have any high value monsters that I could kill in my chunks. I do have like fire fiends and maybe elementals for some runes, but honestly I'm just probably going to be AFKing some rock crabs for this. I do have over 500,000 mithril arrows, so I'm not gonna be short on those at least. But yeah, most probably I'm going to be AFKing rock crabs and doing the archery range minigame, depending on how much I am actually spending time at the computer. But first I'm going to see how much XP per hour I'm getting here. I'm expecting like maybe 40k-ish. The unfortunate thing with these rock crabs is there's only 2 spawns. There's not a single spot on the coast where there would be 3 or more rock crabs right next to me. So that's really unfortunate. I wish I had like sand crabs or another spot of rock crabs that have 3 spawns, but I only have these 2. So yeah, I'm going to be standing here doing absolutely nothing for quite a large chunk of this grind actually. And now for the other training method I have available, the archery range minigame. These can be somewhat equally AFK as the raw crabs. If you position your chat box like this and hold down spacebar, you will just skip the dialogue and you can click in the one same spot over and over again and get XP continuously. So this can be very good if you have a foot pedal, which I actually don't have at the moment. My old one broke down, but I'm using my old keyboard for this. So let's get to work and do some grinding here and see what the XP rates are like. Three and a half hours later of clicking on one single pixel in the archery range. This is gonna get me banned at some point, but there's 77 ranged. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. We're getting over 37k per hour, so this is actually better than the rock crabs, and it's only going to get better as we get more levels, as our ranged accuracy is going to go up. Now again, this is what my setup is looking like at the moment. It is extremely scuffed and not really good at all. But it works, and I can actually do some real-life work at the same time, so it's really not too bad at the moment. There's the first 100,000 tickets of the archery range. We're a bit like 10 hours deep at the moment, so I did this whole day yesterday and most of the day today as well. While, you know, working on my laptop. There's only really one annoying thing about this. I'm gonna try and show you that. If you click too fast on the target, you might end up like this and cancelling the dialog box. And then you have to go and talk to this guy again until you can actually continue with training. So that happens every now and then, which is really annoying, but I'm trying to keep kind of a steady pace clicking, and then I don't need to do that. But yeah, it happens from time to time. There's another level coming in, 79 range, one off from 80, pretty nice. Yo, wait, 1k? 1k! That was 1k! You don't hit these very often, do you? They are very rare actually, that's some damn nice luck there. Looking at the probability of hitting each region from the wiki, By the way, what other game wiki is going to have information like this about a 20-year-old minigame that has zero relevance to anyone except for niche accounts like this? Anyway, my accuracy roll at the moment is 20,800, which means I have a 64.8% chance of hitting a bullseye. Hitting it 10 times in a row, 0.648 to the power of 10, is roughly a 1.3% chance. So yeah, a score of 1000 is pretty rare. The average score at my accuracy is about 750, and with absolute max range key and stats in the game at the moment, a ranged attack roll of 51,000 is possible, averaging about 893 points per game, so there are some big diminishing returns at play here. Hello, it's me. It's been like a week since I took a clip last time, I think. But yeah, I've done some progress on the account. Sometimes it's just nicer to AFK the raw crabs. There's 84 ranged already. Yeah, I'm not gonna have the time every time to just click on a foot pedal if I really need to concentrate on something in the work. So I might end up here AFKing at the raw crabs. I think I'm gonna do like maybe 50-50 raw crabs in archery range or something like that. But yeah, it's actually going pretty nicely. 84 ranged already. There we go, 86 range, nice. I also realized I can just, position my screen like this. I really don't need to reposition the chat box or anything. I can just position my screen like this and this works completely fine. And another level, 87 ranged, fast progress. I've also got another lamp saved up. This is going into Slayer yet again, and there is 32 Slayer for Mogers. That is some massive gains today. This is like an average work day's worth of XP for me if I get to food pedal all the day working on my laptop. So there we have level 88 ranged, and that should also bump up my max hit with amethyst arrows up to 18 or 20 if I'm using Eagle Eye, which is pretty nice too. At 99 my max hit with Eagle Eye will be 22 with the amethyst arrows, which is actually quite solid. Yeah, the progress is strong. We are still continuing on. It's like 1/3 of the grind done at the moment, and we are almost up to 500,000 archery tickets as well. I'm going to shoot for maybe 2 million archery tickets. That would guarantee something pretty damn nice for me. The archery tickets. Why do I care about them at all, or what am I going to use them for? The obvious answer would be rune arrows, great ammunition to have, or even sell back to a shop for some GP if I need it. But there is something far better available here right in this shop. The Barbed Bolt tips, 140 tickets for 30 of these. The tips can be attached to bronze bolts for 9.5 fletching XP each, being almost as good as adamant arrows, which are 10 XP each. Now, I am 95 fletching at the moment, so the only possible fletching grind I have left is the skill cape itself. And the guy who sells the skill cape also sells bronze bolts. So if I stack up about 450,000 of these barbed bolt tips, equal to around 2 million archery tickets, I can get 99 fletching pretty much instantly when I roll the chunk with the skill cape. Not to mention the finished barbed bolts can be sold to a general store for 80 coins each, meaning I'll also profit a meager 36 million GP from this. Man, who knew barbed bolt tips would be so damn good? And another level 89 ranged, one more for the 90s. And that is 90 ranged. Wow. Yeah, now it's just doubling the XP again and then some, and then we are 99. Almost halfway there. It's a grind and a half, I tell you. And another one, 91 range. That one took like 4 days or so. Yeah, the 614,000 for the next level. Ooh, they are starting to take quite a time for each level here. I tried a little high focus tick perfect test for the XP rates, and it seems like around 50,000 per hour at this level is the max, which is honestly way more than I was expecting. The theoretical maximum with perfect RNG would be 50 XP times 4 ticks per shot plus 6 ticks for the dialogue. So 500 XP for a 46 tick cycle, coming out to about 65,000 per hour. So compared to that, 50,000 per hour is actually pretty damn close and pretty good. Now obviously you have to always remember that when I'm saying that these are good XP rates and they are surprisingly nice and everything like that, you can get over 1 million XP per hour as a normal account just chinning some monkeys. Or I guess even more than if you're doing the Cox boosting method, but let's not go to that. Anyways, hey, there's 92 ranging. That means we're halfway there. And I do also have about 700,000 archery tickets and a lot of random event junk in my inventory. So let's open up some of these. First of all, we have a mystery box. A mithril scimitar. I know a lot of chunkers who would kill for that right now. And then the lamps, of course, are going into Slayer. We are still hunting that 42 Slayer for brine rats, and I don't think these are actually going to get us a level, but very close. And the next lamp will be a level yet again. There will be a live stream this Saturday at 8 PM GMT, which is 4 PM Eastern or 1 PM Pacific time, where I'll be getting the first and the second 99s on the account. We'll have a great party, there will be cake and party hats and everything, and of course we're going to roll the next chunk live on stream as well. So make sure you tune in this Saturday evening, drop me a follow on Twitch so you won't miss it, and there's a link in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all soon. As always, a big thank you to all the beautiful channel members keeping the channel and the series going with your generous support. Channel members do get early access to my videos and some other goodies as well, so if you're interested, click the join button below or check the video description. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next one.